Yeah, just so. It's on Zoom. Yeah, it's just started.
Davis, what the heck?
Juliana, I'm sorry. I got caught up. I got to take this one from home.
Fun.
I promise to be engaged and communicative. Don't worry.
Got it.
I'll participate.
Are you gonna come up for that event tomorrow night?
Absolutely, I am.
Means anyone's in the Philadelphia area, Real Producers is doing an event. I'll sneak you in. You wanna come?
Also, open bar at the event. Just maybe that'll convince some people.
You're gonna talk me into going now.
It's at this place called Winston on the Water, which is like a newer restaurant where David Buster's is in Philadelphia. So
Cool.
stay and check it out. Real Producers always coming through with a nice event. I'm gonna give it a few seconds here and see if anybody else is popping in. Seems like we got a good group here.
If you guys can, please turn your cameras on. Just because this is a workshop and interactive.
Yeah, and I wore a dress today, so if I'm fancy, you're fancy. I don't care if you're in your pajamas, turn your camera on. I can't tell you how many Zoom calls I took from bed this past 2 years.
Oh, yeah. It makes me paranoid though.
Well,
The camera would like,
I always am in situations where I turn my camera off and my microphone off, like emergency situations where you gotta do what you gotta do, and I am always worried that like at the wrong time, the mic is just gonna like turn on.
Yeah,
I'm not even so much worried about the camera, just the microphone.
Yeah.
Scarlett.
Hey, girl.
Oh, some familiar faces on here. All right, so I'm gonna get right to it. We do have a 1 to 3 time block here. I know that is a little long for Zoom, so we'll just do what we gotta do. And if you can't say the whole time, I understand, but I appreciate it if you do. Mary's gonna get our doc first. Not the branding. Because I won't get it yet. So we'll start with this one. Either way. I'm gonna pull this out.
oh. Denise, can you give me sharing host abilities?
And then we could drop the link in the chat, I guess.
Are you okay? Where are you?
To Carol Barnhart.
Anyone can share. Anyone can share.
Got it, thank you. Got it, thank you.
All right, so before I hop right into this, introduce myself really quickly. My name is Juliana Gainsburg. For those of you who do not know me, I am a licensed real estate agent now with Keller Williams Philadelphia. I started.
If you aren't muted, if you could please mute yourself.
Please, so I'm not sounding annoying. So I've been a licensed real estate agent for 3 years. I started in Keller Williams Newtown in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, as an independent agent for my first 2 years. I then joined my OP's team, Justin Gall, from July 2021 to this past July. I did a year with him. He's an amazing human being, one of my favorite leaders of all time. And he allowed me to join a team, get some little experience that I didn't get from PC coaching and I didn't feel that I had on my own after graduating PC. And he allowed me to leverage the team in order to come up with great classes and teach like this and work on some other forms of income that other than selling residential real estate. So I did a year with him and I said, you know what, Justin, I love you to death and I'm ready to get back to it on my own. So I had been living in the city, suburbs, doing business in the suburbs and the city, and I decided I wanted to really focus primarily on the city. And so I decided to piece out from the team, go back on my own and start working on building my own team while also teaching these classes. So that's my little like intro to myself. I'm also on the board for KWIP, Keller Williams Young Professional, the Greater PA region, which you are a part of, PA, New Jersey, and Delaware. We have 47 market centers. We are the largest chapter and the first regional chapter. We launched in January 21. And I'm on the board currently as the education chair. I was the social chair up until last month. So a couple new things happening for me in the past month or so. However, the best part and why I bring up YP is that has what's really opened the door for me to start teaching these classes. And the reason why I started doing it is because a lot of people in this company had their hand out to me, like, what can I do to help you? You know, do you want to shadow me? Do you want to do this? Whatever it was. In our region, I had a lot of people have a really positive impact on me. And this is kind of like my path of also giving back. So disclaimer, I am in no way the end all be all. I am not the top professional. I don't know the exact way to be is exact and only way to be successful in social media. There is no exact way. You can be successful in any way possible. There's different ways of doing it. Everyone has a different style, but it all comes down to the systems and models and the consistency and the plan that goes in behind that. So that's what I'll be going over with you today. I do everything that I talk about in my own business and my own life, and I'm kind of just teaching this class as I'm going. So by all means, especially because we have majority of you on Zoom, if you have something to say, you have a question, I'm talking too fast, I'm going too slow, raise your hand, unmute, do what you got to do. I like this to be more so of a group mastermind rather than me just kind of like yelling things at you for 2 hours. So if you have a question, just raise your hand, let me know. I'd be more than happy to stop and go on to that. So we're going to start with this first page. Social media 101, my Instagram little one sheet. So if you don't have this, if you're not able to like write on this, that's fine. Just in your head, like think about what level of use are you using social media. So doesn't have to be for business, but in general, like what do you think your level? Are you a 1, you have an account, or maybe you have the apps downloaded, but you don't really do anything on it? 2 to 3, like, you know how to scroll, you've seen stories. 4 or 5, you've posted a few times, but you're very inconsistent. 6 or 7, you're pretty good, you know what you're doing. 8, 9, 10, you don't even need this class. Somewhere in there. And just for a self-thought, what is your page's purpose? Why are you here today? Why did you get on this Zoom? What is the point of you having social media? What's the why behind you using social media? And that could be like, I just want to see what other people are doing. Like maybe you're not super focused currently on it being about business. Maybe your purpose for your page is to connect with family members that don't live close by, or share information with friends, or maybe it is all about business. Maybe your only purpose is to tell people about how you sell real estate. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm gonna bounce around this a little bit. I'll share my screen in a little bit of how to market a listing using Instagram stories. But I'm just going to go over these 4 bullets first. And then if you have questions in between, just let me know. And then if there's anything you don't know as far as like the engagement and the widgets and stuff like that, I'll show you how to do that when I share my screen. But so the first thing and most important thing about getting started is, are you going to be consistent? So with anything that we do, it starts with the plan. And as we all know, that if we lead gen 5 days a week, 2 hours a day consistently, we will have the results. There's nothing bad that can come from consistent lead generation, repetitious boredom. Same thing with social media. if you post about the 3 things that you want to post about, or real estate, your family, and your favorite activities, or whatever is kind of in your realm of your lifestyle, if you are consistently sharing information about that, there is nothing bad that can come from that. You are organically going to receive the feedback that you want, grow your sphere of influence, and or receive business from it. So a lot of social media, like gurus / like coaches or teachers or whatever public speakers will say, post 3 times a day, post once a day, and be consistent and do it all the time. And if that's that's the ticket. I think that is great if you can post once a day. However, I don't expect you to be posting once a day if you're just starting out. It's like an unrealistic expectation. My goal, which is on here, is to be posting 5 to 6 times a week. And posting, I mean like on my actual feed or on my Facebook, like a post that's going to stay there, not a story or something that disappears after 24 hours, like a real living post. I want to be doing that. I would like to be doing it once a day. There's no reason why I'm not. But my goal is 5 to 6 times a week. I also do that because I know I don't get great engagements on Saturdays. So I don't post really on Saturdays. Now we'll circle back to that when I get to the when to post section, but that's part of my thing. Like, okay, I post 6 days. If I post Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday or Monday through Friday and then Sunday, like I know because of my consistency of seeing what works and what doesn't, that I don't really get engagements on Saturday. So maybe I'm going to hit that 5 to 6 posts a week. When I first got in this business, I had a personal Instagram and then I created a business Instagram. And what I mean by that is not so much the settings of the account, but in general, like I had one account that was Jewel the Realtor and I had one account that was Juliana Gainsburg. And I was more personal on one and more business on other. And I found myself, for lack of better terms, not really giving a shit about the personal one because I was focused on selling houses and I didn't really care about what people were wearing or doing or whatever it was. I also found that my viewers were double dipping. So like I had a lot of the same audience on both accounts. And I just felt like if it was something that I wanted to share on my business and my personal, they're already seeing it on one or the other. So I just decided, you know what, I'm deleting the personal account. I'm going to make the business account primarily business, but I'm going to start to filter in personal stuff. And so I don't always stick to this 80-20 because of where I'm at now. I follow my, time blocked plans. I have my planned posts. I'm organically, like, it's more natural for me to like pick up the phone and do stuff. So like, I don't always have to be on that 80-20 because I've been so consistent for so long that sometimes it's 50-50. Sometimes you look at my page and it's more so it's heavy on the personal and less in the business. And then other times it flops. But if I was getting started in social media, I would follow the 80-20 for a business profile. I would be posting 80% business and 20% personal because my main reason, my why, my top priority, my one of my 3 pillars is I want my people to know that I'm a real estate agent. That's my first priority. Okay, great. People are going to work with you because of the way you make them feel or because they know they can relate to you. So I also want people to know that I love dogs and I love eating sushi and I live in the city and I like trying new things and going to restaurants and I'm a big outdoor music type of person. So like if there's something going on, like you better bet I'm going to be there. So that makes people who also align with that know me as a person through a screen and feel like they can connect with me because they find similarities. So I like to sprinkle in that personalness because it's like, okay, great. Like I know Jewel sells real estate. Great. She's driven that home. I got that. But why would I call her versus someone else? Well, you would hope that someone calls you versus someone else because you're really good at your job. But the fact of the matter is most people will probably call you because they feel like they can trust you or they can relate to you and it's a safe space. So as much as I know I'm a good agent, I know that there's people that don't call me because they think I'm a good agent. they just know that I sell real estate and they know me, or they follow me and they see my videos, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's a referral, whatever. But that's a really good place to start, is on that 80-20. And then if you're more like 70-30 or 50-50, or it fluctuates, that's fine. But if you're looking for something to kind of keep you on track of like the goal, that's where I would start with that. So let's say you're posting 5 times a week, maybe 3 of them are business and 2 of them are personal. And, you know, you can play with the numbers with that, but that's just where I would start with that. Next is primarily focusing on stories. So questions and polls. I have a very low attention span, and maybe that's my age, maybe that's all of us, because during the pandemic we were just like staring at our phones and screens for so long, and like we want information like this. So I find a lot of success myself with stories. I feel like my sphere of influence and my followers or viewers are more so on the type of just like end of the day, clicking through stories, getting their fix of like updates, and then they're like going on to the next thing or eating dinner or whatever the case may be. So I've focused on the last 6 months of really utilizing my stories more. A great way to do that is to post stories that have triggers for engagements. So this one's like cheesy and people always laugh about it, but this actually works so well. So have you ever seen when someone posts and it's like this or that? So like they go on Pinterest and they're like, oh, like this front door with this color looks really great, and then this one looks good, like this or that, or which one do you like better? And then it's got like the little sticker on there, and your brain just like makes you want to press it. Like, I don't even care about what this is, but for whatever it is, it's like the if I would you rule, where you're like, if I post this, will you like say if you like this or not? And like, it doesn't matter how many times I see those stories, I always make a decision before going to the next one. And so by doing stuff like that, it has people will tap on it, and that's engaging, and that's making your stuff pop up on their feed more often. So I don't do stuff like that all the time, but if you're looking for something simple that you don't really need to have content for, you could Google like new paticos, or like you could do like EP Henry like brick fronts, or like I don't know, like you could do like greenhouses or green shutters and blue shutters, and say like, which one do you like better? I have a friend that's in Keller Williams in New York. Her name's Erin. She runs the WeLap group out of Manhattan primarily, and she always does like these super nice dining room kitchen areas in New York, and they're always like end units that have like really big windows. So she'll be like, it's like 2 different styles, like a modern or like a different style, and she'll put them together and say this or that. And I always do it, and I always pick them, and it means nothing, and it's like whatever, on to the next story. But her stuff always comes up because I'm always engaging in it. So the widgets are really useful in that aspect. I'll go back to that when I share my screen and show you some other things with that. Another way is just like asking for something. So I will ask for recommendations like, do you know a contractor in Philadelphia? Or I'm going to be in Delaware this week. Like, where should I go out for dinner? Like, I'm going to be at Delaware Beaches, or I'm going to be at Dewey Beach, whatever it is. And I'll put the question box so that people can type in their recommendations. And what I can do off that is like, okay, if they respond, it comes up on your Instagram, and you can either share their response anonymously and post something like, oh, someone just told me to go to this restaurant, or someone told me to go to this mini golf place across from the KW office. Like, this is where I'm going to go tonight. Or you could just privately respond back to them, which this is the moneymaker. I love any opportunity for someone to message me first, because I love talking to people not about real estate. If I can talk to someone about dogs or restaurants or contractors or vacations or whatever it is and start the conversation, I'm going to win them there, because now we're having a personal engagement, and eventually I'm going to bring up real estate. Like, I don't know if you guys do like calls, or how many of you are like actually calling your database on here, but I use the Ford method, like family, occupation, recreation, dream. So I do that when I'm making my database calls. I also do that when I'm messaging people on Instagram and Facebook. Like, I just keep that in my head, like, okay, check, like, hey, Mary, thank you for recommending that restaurant. I haven't talked to you in so long. How are the kids? Oh, like, how's the family? It's been so long since I've seen you. How's everything going? How's the dog? And then you tell me and I'm like, oh, like, is everything great at the office? I haven't been to that one in so long, blah, blah, blah. I have to come up there. Oh, yeah, it's awesome, blah, 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 this, that, whatever. And then, oh, I'm coming to Delaware. Like, what have you been doing this summer? Recreation, and then dream. And then it's almost a given that they're gonna ask me something about real estate. They're going to ask me, well, how's work for you? Or how many classes have you been teaching? Or, what's going on with you? So it's like, just getting them, like, if they're messaging you, like, you already got them, like, they're coming to you about something, they're engaging with you. So I'll take any opportunity to have a conversation with someone, especially on social media, because you don't have to be somewhere to do it. You can do it from the comfort of your home or wherever you're at, and you can do it on a mass level. So all these things, the reason why we're here today is because we want to use social media in order to grow our business without A, being stressed about it, and B, we want to do it because we have systems in place. We have our smart plans, we have our touch systems, we have our emails, we have our 36 touches. That's great. This is an extra organic touch to our sphere and distance sphere and maybe new friends that we can utilize without it controlling our lives. So I'll show you a little bit more on how to do that Instagram story stuff when I share my screen, but we'll keep going here. Everyone good online? No questions yet? Cool. You guys good? Okay. So highlights, when I first made this version of this course, I went in deep about highlights, and I don't find them to be as important, but we'll still talk about it anyway. So is anyone not familiar with what a highlight is? If you on Instagram, if you aren't, just put you raise your hand in the chat or thing or something. You know what a highlight is?
I'm not really familiar with it.
Okay, so when I explain it, you probably will know. So a highlight is on your Instagram page, on your profile, the circles. So Instagram stories and Facebook stories go away after 24 hours. I like that because you can be more casual about what you're posting, and it's like, if it's not that great of content or whatever, it's gonna go away, right? However, sometimes you have something that you're like, oh, I gotta keep this. Like, this was an awesome class that I taught and someone grabbed a picture of me, or like whatever it was, then that's like your all-star moment, whatever. It's something that you want to keep. It's your highlight. So I look at our social media accounts as our realtor dating profile. So when somebody pulls up our feed or our page because they want to check us out and see if they want to work with us or what we're all about, that's one of the first things that they look at is our name, our bio, and our highlights. And then they'll probably get down a couple rows of posts. I don't see people really getting past 12 posts, but the first couple things on there are your first impression, so it's key to make sure that what we have up there is the hook, or it's something that you think is top quality from your posts. So I'm going to share my screen. Do you have the link to this Zoom? I'm just going to go in on my phone.
Yeah.
You wanna email? Yeah, that's fine. So I'll show you my profile, and then we'll talk a little bit on that, and we'll do some story stuff here. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Up front have the, or she letting people in. his personal living room.
Denise, are you letting people in or who is? Whoever can. Let Juliana into the Zoom. Did I let you in? Don't think it's Dawn.
Where is it? So anyway, I'm getting in the Zoom and then I'll share my screen. So yeah, like I just like to keep on the highlights, keep it short and sweet. So they're basically like folders of your stories, right? So if mine are like KW, KWIP, city living. I think I have like,
Denise, are you able to let her into the chat or to the Zoom?
so I use like, I try to keep it more on to the point because I think that, like I was saying about the whole like attention span thing, you know, people aren't going to be spending all day on your highlights. But it is nice that if someone is checking you out, that you make a good first impression. I don't think of another way to do this.
I just reached out to our VA, so hopefully she'll get you in soon.
You could, if you go on, you could share your screen of my Instagram. You just do instagram.com/.
Okay.
If you log in or not. I think so.
I think it will.
Not here. I'll send you one. Try this link that I sent to your email. Okay, we'll do it this for now. Okay. So these are my highlights. So I have coaching, city living, KWIP, YKW, travel. I do some stuff with Airbnb. I did some stuff with crypto and Forex, which I'm not really doing anymore, but I would even try to like break these down even less. I think, like I was saying about the whole attention span thing, I just don't think it's there. But I really like how I'm very clean and to the point about, okay, real estate agent, owner of the Juliana Gainsburg Group, servicing Philadelphia, Bucks County. I live in PA, like very exact information as soon as they look at it. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this is like business, business, personal, personal, business, 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 personal, business. I'm very even with what I'm doing. Yeah, so I guess I don't think I really share my screen and do a tutorial.
I've reached out to her. I don't know why she's not responding. I apologize.
It's okay. I guess we could just move on for now.
Always come back to that.
Yeah, so we'll talk about when to post and then we'll do some tutorial stuff. So, this is a big question I get a lot, like, oh, like, Jewel, like, how do I know when I should be posting on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever it is? So my best suggestion is when you start to do this, you kind of take some time to post different times a day. Like maybe you do once at like 11 a.m. during the week or once at 7 p.m. or kind of give it a couple different times over a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, and just see when you're getting the most comments or views or likes or just engagements in general. I find that my best viewership time is about 7 to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday evenings. So the reason why I believe that it's that way is because I think that the general, the average age group that's looking at my content are the type to get up and go right to work and maybe be late, maybe be like rolling out of bed, grabbing their coffee, grabbing their lunch and heading out. And then at the end of the day, decompressing, coming home, scrolling, getting dinner, you know, getting ready for the next day. So I have found that I get better views at nighttime when I post. Now, it doesn't mean I don't ever post during the day. That also doesn't mean that I don't follow my own systems and models and get lazy and just decide to post whenever because it's convenient for me. But that also all comes back to, you know, our habits and our systems of knowing when to post and time blocking and, you know, not falling into bad habits of like doing what I said. So I like to, like I said, I find that it works best for me, but I found that out that 7 p.m. was a sweet spot because of testing out different times to post and taking a look at it. Now, in regards to amount of engagements, like I don't believe that a certain amount of likes or views determines whether you're going to be successful or not, or if you're going to get leads. I have found that sometimes I'll make content that for me, like 300 views on TikTok is not hard to do. Like most TikToks will play more than once for the same person. So you're already getting 2-3 views per person. And so getting to like 200 or 300 views is really not unrealistic. That's like pretty average. And so even with 10,000 followers, if I only get those views, like normally like my drunk monkey would be like, oh, like what was wrong with that post? Like, why didn't it land? Oh, I'm in now. Why didn't that land? Like, okay. So why didn't that land? Why isn't that like getting the engagements that I wanted to? And so, I want to talk about that because I don't believe that that really defines you or your business. I have had success from things that have gotten 250 views, and yet I've gotten a buyer from it, or I've helped people get into K-score in my office from it. My office had a grand opening of our remodeled 2 floors, and I made a 30-second video that personally I didn't think was amazing, but it was like, okay, it was well put together. And I said in there like, hey, if you're interested in getting your license, my office has opportunities where you can get licensed for free. For the longest time on Instagram, it had like 300 views, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks. But I got 6 people signed up for K-score from that post. So it really all comes down to who your audience is and if you're getting in front of the right people. I just strongly suggest that when you're getting into this, that you're not worried about how many people are liking and commenting on it and if people like the content or not. And you're more focused on this is what my why is. This is what I'm doing. I know that I'm providing value. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to help others and grow my business. And the people that don't want to see it are not paying your bills. It's just facts. If you're worried about the way you look or how your voice sounds or that people are going to think it's cringy, I'm telling you, the best thing that has ever happened to my business is when I stopped caring what people thought. And the people that have something negative to say are not going to buy or sell a house from you. Like, if I have someone in my database that I don't want to call because I know I'm not going to have a great call with them or just don't want to do that, I got to take them out of the database. If someone's following me and they feel like I post too much about real estate and they unfollow me, let them unfollow me. They are not going to send me business anyway. Like, it doesn't matter. So I just really stress a lot that it's really not about how many, it's a big quality over quantity game, in my opinion. I've had videos that have done very, very well and have done 10,000 views or 1 million views, whatever. I've had a handful of videos that I've done really well. And from that video, I didn't really get much from. Maybe it's because nationally, those people are not buying and selling homes, or they don't know that I have a great referral network and they think I'm just PA, so they don't reach out to me. But the ones that are informative, provide value, and have been a part of my consistent path in social media have gotten me the business that I've wanted. So that's like my big stressor on, don't focus on the numbers and just the action. And then I have, so yeah, just like knowing when your viewers like to scroll, that was my whole thing about the 7 p.m. Like I know that's when my people are looking, so I always take a look there. How to leverage your time when posting. So for TikTok specifically, I will plan when I'm going to record and when I'm going to post. So I am not capable of recording TikToks every day. I would never be able to service my business correctly if I was scrolling and figuring out what to post and recording at the same time. So a lot of times I'll go into my business plan or my calendar and I will block out 2 hours on a Sunday or 2 hours on a Tuesday night or whatever it is that I have time in my schedule. And I will make my hair look nice and look at my list of ideas, and I'll get my tripod out and I'll record 3 or 4 of them, maybe even 5 of them, and then put them in my drafts. And now I have recorded content that's ready to go, and I can post them when I know it's my time, my good scrolling hours to be posting. Now, TikTok, you can't pre-schedule that yet. But time blocking is what has really helped me and not taken away from my business. It's very easy to be like on social media and go down this hole of just like scrolling and having time just get away from you. And so I will set a timer sometimes, or I just time block efficiently and make sure that I'm staying with my time block and protecting my time block. I'll even time block time to actually scroll and look for ideas, like time to go on TikTok and try to find ideas that will relate to my business and come up with ideas of content. But I always make sure that I'm being mindful of my calendar when doing that. Now, we're all human. I definitely will lay in bed at night and like waste time and stay up too late, like scrolling on that. Don't get me wrong, like I definitely do that. However, during the workday, I do my absolute best to not do that. Creating an upload schedule will keep you on track. So I will share with you, Mary has it. There is a form. I actually don't know if I think I only sent it to Bridget. I'll send it to you too. But there is a Google spreadsheet, you know, it's on there. It's a shareable link that you guys can use. I made a copy of it. It's what I used for when I launched KWIP's chapter for their social media. If any of you know Amanda Nettles, she used to work with the region and now she's with the Why Missing office. She helped me create this, and
No, you're fine.
it's the Google spreadsheet that I use when I am pre-planning my social media calendar. So I'm gonna- So feel free to make a copy of it when you get this spreadsheet. This is how I track and keep track of what I'm posting, when I'm posting, it, where I post it. And this is really good. This is really good for those of you who are bringing on an admin too. If you have somebody who's going to be in control of your social media or doing it with you, you can kind of keep track of everything with them here and see where they posted and when they posted it. That's a big thing that I do with teams when going over this stuff. Here is the link to that. And then if you want to bring that up, you can do. So this is, you know, manual. This isn't going to do anything for you. And yet, as far as having good habits and a system in place, this is going to keep you organized and keep you on track. So if you want to just drop that in the chat, I can make big copies of it. Cool.
I assume just the link.
Yeah, it says anyone can access the link, so when you guys open this in Google Drive, just hit file copy and make your own. That way you can keep your own and it's not attached to this link.
The Mac girl.
I was just gonna say, it's because it's not a Mac. There we go. So. October, I just did this for you. Obviously, you guys, once you make a copy of this, if it's something you like to use, just copy it again, make another tab in here, and you can just change out the day and the month and the number. I started it. I started Instagram, Facebook, and other. If you're not using Facebook or you're only using Facebook, you can change these around. Do whatever you want that works for you. This is just what I have currently.
So can you walk us through, you know, how you use this?
Yes. So let's say, normally at the end of the month, I'm planning for the next month. So let's say it's September 28th. I pull this calendar up. I'm like, all right, I know I have Halloween down here. I'll type in something. Oh, I have a pie event on October 26th. I'm going to fill in some information like, hey, take pictures, handing out pies. You know, or whatever it is, or maybe I'm doing a pumpkin carver Popeye. So I'm gonna type in like reminder, take a picture of with the pumpkins, and then the note in there, like maybe my admin is doing it with me. So I'll put in, you know, admin has this post, blah, blah, blah. And then when she posts it, she'll check off Instagram and Facebook so that I know it's been posted and it's done. What I tell for teams to do that have multiple people using this is to put in the note section, who did it. And you can, this is by, like, you can do this however you want. You can rearrange this, whatever makes sense for you. I just will fill in like pre the month, like I'll do, like, say if I know a couple things going on, I have a closing on October 10th. I have the pie event on October 22nd. I have Halloween on the 31st. Like, I'll fill in stuff that I know I can pre-schedule or remind myself that I have coming up to get content from. And then I know when and where I need to post it. Of course, I'll go back on a weekly basis and fill out more things on maybe the Sunday night before the next week starts. And fill out more. But I try to do as much as I can on a monthly basis that I know is gonna happen. Just so that I can refer back to this if I have a slower week where not a lot of things are happening. And I need to be able to refer back to for content. You just don't want to be in a spot where you're like, I have no idea what to post now. Like, I don't know what I should be doing. Like, or I didn't plan anything for this week. You should at least, when you're first starting out, there should be one thing a week on here that you pre-plan for the month. That way you can go in and fill in the rest as we get through the month. And then I just add to the bottom, like, where it says October on the tab, I just make another tab, copy it, make a new calendar, and I name it. That way I can also go back and look, like, how often did I post? Did I post enough? You know, maybe it reminds me of posts that I liked that did really well, or whatever the case may be. I'm a big, like, tracking of all the things. So I like to be able to go back and look at this. For my business plan too, I keep everything for my personal business plan, not for the chapter, but I keep everything here. So one of the tabs in this thing has my GPS. I also have my 411 all here so I can see everything. My business is heavily around social media, so that's a big part of my GPS and my 411, and so that's why I have it all in one spot, but you can do the same if you'd like. But it's pretty simple, like what I'm gonna post, any notes on that, maybe like a reminder that I need to do something. Sometimes I'll even go like, let's say on October 4th, I have an event, but I also have like a closing or something else I want to post or remind myself to do. I'll just copy that line and add in a second October 4th. So sometimes it's even more than what the month is, but I have multiple things in one day. So I'll just add a line and there'll be 2 October 4ths there with whatever I need to say. Anybody in the chat or on Zoom have any questions about this?
I love this.
Thanks.
This is nice.
Isn't it like so organized? And
Yeah.
sometimes like for the chapter when we have events and teams could do this too, like say you have like 3 big things going on, like in-person activities or whatever, classes, I like will highlight the ones that are like super important. And
Yeah.
This is very, I like it. It's very appealing looking.
I've tried to use my calendar to keep myself consistent.
Yeah.
And it failed miserably.
I find that Google Calendar and your phone calendar is great for keeping on track for your day
Mhm.
and your appointments. But as far as like The people that use that to like remind themselves to post, I would never. I wouldn't even look at it.
Yeah.
And I do find myself with that sometimes too, that I just like don't even like pay attention to my calendar and. So I like this this isn't even like, this is more of the planning side of it. So this is just to keep you on track and know what we need to do, because nothing is happening. Like, you gotta do what's on this calendar. Like, if you type it out, that's great, and you're being consistent with the first habit, and I love it, like, go you. When I have people that I coach one-on-one for this, in the beginning of our coaching, it's just fill it out. If it actually gets done or not, that's the next step. I just want to make sure that every week you have this filled out correctly and you actually are using it, and then we'll implement it and we'll keep going from there. Like, it's baby steps, but you have to implement what you're doing. And so that's why the next part is a list of schedulers that I use. So everything that I go over in my classes, all the like external stuff, all has a free version of it. A lot of them have like next level of like things that you could pay for, but I always recommend stuff that's free. When I got into this business, I did not have a marketing budget. I did not have much money behind me. I just had $3,000 that I spent on getting my license and my headshots and my pens and my cards and all the things and the MLS and all your dues and all that stuff. I wanted to find any way possible that I could generate business for free. And that was door knocking, open houses, and social media. Now, if anything like me, you leaned on social media because I did not really want a door knock. And I hated doing that. Even though I do pretty well face to face, I didn't want to do that. So I had to make this work. So everything that I share with you is primarily free. I use Canva for editing designs. So if you use Command, great, that's amazing. You can also schedule stuff through Command. You can use designs to make stuff. I recently just have been using Canva, so that's what's been working for me. So if you connect your business profile to Canva, you can schedule posts right through there. You can also use an app called Later. I've used that for our chapter Instagram for a while. That also connected to your business Instagram. You can type out a whole post, upload the picture there, say what you want it to say, and put a timer on it and say say I'm doing that at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night, but I wanted to post on Thursday at 8 p.m. You can put that in there and set it and forget it. And that's like the best leverage that you can have with social media. Having as much content that you can schedule out and just forget about it is my favorite thing. So that's it for this page. I'm going to share my screen now. Let's see if I have, yeah, okay. So I'm going to show you how to make an Instagram story. It allows me access. I just need to get a link here. So earlier, do either of you use the Keller Williams app, like for clients?
I send it out.
Okay.
I'm
Have you
using-
I have
used it?
not yet.
Okay. Does the office, do most of the agents use Command as their CRM? Okay.
We all have to use it for compliance.
Well, yeah, for commissions and compliance, yes. I know
More and more.
my last class I had today uses Brevity, so yeah, it's a little different for my teaching purposes, but it's fine. Let me see. All right, so let's see what I have here. I was going to use a link. I think I'm just going to show you guys how to do it. Okay, so share my screen. Okay. So for Instagram, I'm going to go to, I'm on the wrong account. So I'm going to go to the top right where it has the plus button, and I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click post a story, and then I'm going to click this picture. So this is a condo in Old City, Philadelphia. It is Connor Talks listing. He's out of our Morristown office. He's licensed in PA and New Jersey. And I just wanted to share because I don't have any current listings and I figured I would share it to help him get some business. Or maybe close it or find a buyer for it. So I picked this picture because it is an interior unit and there's not a lot of light in there. And I kind of wanted something that was almost like clickbait-ish a little bit because it has a nice like view of the skyline and the bridge and like maybe someone is looking on my story and they need to commute to Jersey and they see the Ben Franklin Bridge in the background and they're like, oh, that's like so close to getting on there. So first thing I would do is I would type out maybe oh, too bad in. And then instead of typing out the area, I'm gonna put the location sticker. So I'll slow down for a second. So top third one in from the right, it has a smiley face on it, a little square smiley face. That's the widgets tab. So you can find stickers, you can find any type of like, you can search so many things in here and find something for what you're looking for. Now, the best thing about this is these little couple widgets here. So location, mention, questions, link, poll, quiz. So I'm gonna do a location. I'm gonna do Old City. This one looks good. And make sure that this is not crooked. So the condos in Old City, and then I'm going to do this link sticker right here. So this is where I would put in a link to this listing. I was having some trouble getting this to come up, but what I would do is personally, I don't go in and make landing pages because it's kind of time consuming. So what I'll do is I'll go to the KW app. This listing, this isn't the right listing, but for example, I would click this and I would hit, type in the address of what the property that I'm sharing, and now it's branded to me because my name's at the bottom because it's my app. And I would hit share, and then I would hit copy, and then I would go back to Instagram and I would paste in the link here. Comes up a little long, but I would paste in this link. Now, this link, if I were to post this, if it was the correct property, I would. So if I were to post this, this link would take them to the information of the listing. And so I would be able to get people to see my information. They would see, it would come up as my name, that it was my listing, whether it was my listing or not. The app is branded to you, and then people would be able to fill out their information and get information on the house. So a lot of times when I do this, people will be like, okay, like back to what we were saying about the bridge, like, okay, cool, like this is an area that I like, I want to find out about this. So I'll put the listing information there. I'll put this little sticker that has the link, and when they click it, it'll be branded to me. And if they fill out the information to find out more, it goes right into your database because it's through that. So a big part of the social media like gap that I think we all have is figuring out how to convert our followers into our leads. So I know personally, because I have your average agent bad habits, is that somebody will DM me their email or DM me their phone number or comment their email. And sometimes that gets lost in translation and getting them into the database. And if they're not in the database, then they're not on our follow-up system, and they're not on our DTD2 list, and they're not part of the plan. So the whole goal is to make sure that we get these we engage with these people and we get their information and we get them in the database. This easily does that because it's kind of cutting out me having to do it. If they click on this link and they're there long enough and it says like fill out information for more, and we get their email and their first name or whatever it is, then they're automatically in there, and it takes you like 3 seconds to post this. Just take a picture of it, have the link ready, say, check out this beautiful 2-bed, 2-bath, or whatever the place is, and then that's it. So I would probably add something else, like maybe maybe a little arrow like this. And so people click it, and then I would just post it to my story. I'm gonna post it here just for learning purposes. So once it's posted here, then they can click on this, it says visit link. And it takes them right here. Where they're, what they're looking for. Now, I posted the wrong link, so it's not right to me, but. That's the example of it. This is part of my process for marketing a listing or marketing my own listing.
Question, if
yeah.
they click on that link,
Mhm.
if you have the automatic or forced registration turned on, would it then go into their command?
Yeah, so what we talked about with the Higgins group is they have like, it's like on a timer, like when they have their landing page set up for this, after a certain period of time of them looking at it, it automatically pops up and it doesn't let them see anything else until they fill it out. So that would be a great idea. It also is a great idea just getting people to, just getting them to fill that out, like, or download the app. I'll post stuff about just the app in general and say like, start your home search here. But it's just so simple. Like if your photographer goes out and takes the listing photos and then they email them to you or put them in the drive, whether it's you or the person who's running your social media, like maybe it's your admin, whatever it may be. If they go into the drive, they grab a nice photo, the front door, the beautiful kitchen, the beautiful bathroom, whatever it may be, and they put it up there, it takes all of like 60 seconds to just upload and say, hey, look at this great property, find out more information here, link.
Can you link on Facebook stories?
I don't even know. I want to say yes, I don't know, so I have my Instagram connected to my Facebook, so my Instagram stories will simultaneously post to my Facebook stories, so if they click it, it might make them navigate to Instagram first. But yeah, any questions from the chat before I go on to the next thing? Chugging along here. So, one more thing about stories too, I'll show you what I was talking about earlier with the, with this sheet, for the boosting your interaction. So let's just say, I'm just gonna use this picture as an example, but let's say, maybe I was looking for a buyer for this. So I would do the question box and I would say, and then somebody could click this and they could respond. Or maybe I just put like, I could put this down here and I could put something like, I could do something like that. This is really good for one, getting people to give you information, two, starting conversations. I normally use this box for asking for recommendations, back to the thing I was saying as far as like talking to people not about real estate. You also could do stuff like, and then you could do like poll. You could be like, hate it, love it, or you could do one of these things where they have to like drag the smile, the heart face across. And if they drag it all the way across, that's like giving it a 10. If they don't drag it at all, that's like a 0. So there's a couple of things that you can do just to boost engagements, as far as getting people to interact with your stuff. But I think like utilizing the KW app with that link, for any properties, like if I know when I first got into business and I had nothing, and I still do this now when I don't have active listings, like I lean on my market center for listings and I'll go up to an agent and be like, hey, would you and your seller mind if I marketed this listing for free? And if they say yes, I'm gonna go and post a story like this with the link, but it's gonna be branded to me. And not only does it help me get buyer leads, but it shows it's content and it makes it look like I'm busy to people that don't know. And I'm not lying. I'm not saying it's my listing. I'm just saying, hey, like, look at how cool this is, or hey, check out this condo, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's that one story. So I'm gonna switch you over to the next page that I gave you guys. I think everybody should have it because I'm gonna stop sharing. If you want to share your screen to the brand one. So this goes a little bit into mindset towards the bottom. But for anyone who is in this Zoom and you are like, I don't know where to start, I don't know what I want my account to be about, think about when I first asked you what your page's purpose is, and then we're going to fill this out at home if you want to just take notes. So the first question is, what is my favorite thing in life? No, other than real estate.
Can't be real estate.
Can't be real estate. I would put
Is my
real estate.
wife gonna see this?
Your wife will not see this. I will tell her if you don't tell
Just
her.
kidding. I was gonna put her anyway.
Oh. Amazing. We're gonna
I
get
put
one of those-
motorcycles and schnauzers.
I love it. I love schnauzers. Number 2, write 3 to 5 words or phrases to describe yourself. I think most people, when I do this exercise, they're like, oh my God, I can't even like.
Who
I'm
am I?
surprised, like, we don't know what to write down. Okay, this is where we're getting a little deeper on here. Okay, what is the story you are telling, or what story are you writing? So, for an example, if I was maybe recently married, maybe I just had a baby, I have a newborn. Let's say I'm a realtor and I just moved to a new town and I have a new market. My story might be about, I might be on social media about my newborn, like new things that I'm doing or trying or going through, or showing how I can relate to other moms that also are dealing with their first child. And maybe I'm talking to you about different things in my new market that I'm trying, or parks that I'm going to, or restaurants or events, or whatever I'm doing in my life that I'm sharing. And maybe I'm also telling you about date night, how important it is to have that while I also have a newborn at home. Or that would be an example of a story you are telling or writing. Number 4 is, what company, product, or service inspires you, and who on Instagram inspires you? Who can you rip off and duplicate the easiest? Now, I wrote this a certain way because I personally have found companies and brands that have been really doing super well with their marketing. And so one of them, Keller Williams International, has been doing really good with their TikTok, and I've gotten a lot of inspiration from that. And there's a couple other businesses that have just been doing really good stuff that I want to incorporate into my business and relate it to real estate. So I want to kind of switch that up for you guys though. If you are, I know a lot of you are kind of newer to social media and like getting in the swing of things. I suggest as homework that you go on Instagram, TikTok, one of them, and search #realtor or #real estate and see what other realtors are doing, and see if any of the things that they do interest you or something that you can also use for yourself. I have a couple agents in other companies, in other states, in other markets that I've gotten ideas from and I've recreated content from that that are in different markets. Like, we're not competing. If we're doing similar things, like, it's fine for us to, do that. Content creation is all about like seeing what other people are doing and coming up with your own thing. Of course, I don't like completely copy what someone does. I definitely will like tweak it and make it more about me or more about what I'm trying to do, or just add a different like style to it. But I always suggest people to kind of follow other people. I follow a lot of lenders too that are good content creators, and then, you know, their content is normally similar and they're normally down the same path as me, but theirs is about mortgages, so I just find a way to make it about real estate specifically. But that's what I do. So I suggest you follow a couple and see what they're doing. And now that you know these 4, who is your ideal client? Who do we want to attract? So that's more like the mindset motivational side of this exercise. I'm big on manifesting good cash buyers that sign their DocuSign and loop immediately. So that's my ideal clients.
Yeah, right.
Someone who signs their docs quickly. That's what I like. So that's that exercise. How are we doing on time here? So no questions from Zoom? What's going on here?
They're trying to figure out how to post a story.
Davis, what are you up to?
What's going on? You did great presentation. Fantastic
Thank
job.
you.
Good job, Juliana.
Good for you.
Wow. I can't wait to rebrand myself from Delaware Beaches to Philadelphia. I'm gonna have a lot. I think I'm gonna have a little bit more interesting content, not to throw any shade at the beaches, but there's a
Well, I mean, I think
good
it
amount
would
of
be,
activity.
it would be the same thing for me if I was moving. Like if I
Right.
was moving here, I would be excited to like have a reason to post about a bunch of new things that I'm
Right.
I'm doing. So I think that's a really good opportunity for you. I'm sure Delaware Beach is gonna miss you.
We are.
Well, babe.
I'm not dying. I'm just moving.
I personally know Amanda Hall. She's probably gonna hate me for calling her out, but she is very good at social media. So I'd love to get some of her take on this for growing her sphere.
OMG, I'm gonna strangle you.
We gotta
What
get
do
the
you
people
want? You threw me under the bus.
Amanda, how long have you been in the business?
A year, a little over a year, since June of last year.
Are you on a team or independent?
Independent.
Great. And what's your main form of lead generation?
I don't. Op City.
That's
Op
cool.
City.
I'm so bad at Op City. I tried that once. Very bad at that.
Yeah, it's annoying. I mean, it can be frustrating, but I mean, everything that I've sold has come from Op City. I've had one that was my own, but yeah, no, that's been it. And but no, I am upfront on that social media. I was always like that. So now I've had to try to. This is great, the information that you've offered, definitely, but I've had to rebrand it, and I sat in on another class the other day, and I literally got rid of my Facebook business page, and it actually made sense. It's like, okay, well, you have all these followers over here and you're trying to get new followers over here, instead of just, if they don't want to be on your page, then buy. They're not any good to you, basically. So I don't know what your thought is on that, but I haven't figured out how to go to one page on Instagram yet, because I have more followers on my personal than I do my business. So,
Well, I had like 400 on my business, and I had almost 1,000 on my personal when I made
Okay.
the switch. So it was easier for me at the time. Now, you would think I would have just taken 1,000 people and deleted the business and just rearranged one account, but I didn't.
Right.
I just deleted the personal and I went to the business. So
okay.
ultimately, there's no way to like combine them,
Right. Right.
merge the accounts. But my suggestion would to just be, if that's something you're gonna do, I wouldn't wait any longer. Like I would just
Okay.
make the decision and do it.
Okay.
And what I actually did, so I started a Instagram page for just coaching. And what I did was I took an old Instagram account that I had and when I got rid of it, I just deleted my picture off of it, deleted the name, and I just deleted all the content, but I left the account.
Right.
So I guess my suggestion to you is if you don't want to per se lose the followers and you might need them at some point for something else, maybe you keep the account, but you don't post on it anymore.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to get rid of it altogether. Like, you know, we keep credit cards that we don't use because getting rid of them affects our
Right,
credit.
right.
It doesn't do us any good to, canceling them, but doesn't mean
Right.
that we have to use them. So, my suggestion would just to be, if you don't want to do 2 accounts, just pick one. And then you can rebrand that to make it look however it needs to, even if it's, so the account that I shared is a business profile, like it's a setting as a business profile, and I use
Right,
it
right.
like that so that it looks like a business. But if you look at my feed, like, it's very personal.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of personal stuff on there. Like, I post a lot of just my own thing, like me at a concert or like whatever it was.
Okay.
Just because it is labeled as a business doesn't mean it needs to look like a business.
Okay, so this is my question for you. What I struggle with. So my personal on Instagram I've had for a lot of years. And I really don't post a lot on the actual feed as much as my story that I've done for probably 6 or 7 years, and I didn't really want to change that. So I still do that. And then my issue with Facebook was, when you're looking at 3,000 people, I don't really know those people like that. I used to have my personal people that I knew that I felt comfortable with uh, posting personal things where I'm like 3,000 people. I don't know that I want them seeing my grandson. I don't want them to. So I kind of limit what I'm putting on there now. Does that make sense? And I don't know how to get around that.
Well, the long answer is to go through your Facebook friends and delete people you don't know. Because if you're not messaging them, it's the same thing as them being in the database and not calling them, right?
Okay.
I have a ton of people that I don't know on Facebook. And if you have more than 40 mutual friends with me and you're in Keller Williams, I'm accepting your request.
Right. Right.
I also have a different motive. Like, I am very focused on inbound referrals. I'm very focused on coaching nationally, like teaching these classes all over.
Okay.
So I don't really turn down requests unless I
Okay.
like absolutely don't know them and they have like no mutual friends with me and they're not in the industry.
My number is 20 or above. 20 mutual friends or above.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a personal preference that you don't like to share, like, the family stuff on there. I do utilize close friends story on Instagram. So
Okay.
if you go to make an Instagram story, there is a setting where you post to what's called a green box. That's called your close friends. And
Okay.
so you make that list out of your followers. I have about 55 people on there, and those are not my close friends. I have like,
Okay.
three close friends.
Okay.
But it's people who are in my friend groups, or maybe I feel a little bit more relaxed on the content that I post. So like maybe it's like me with my friends and family, or if for instance, if it's you, maybe it's just your family members and that's where you post your grandchild.
Okay. Okay.
For your children. I'm much better at not cursing as much as I used to. Especially for teaching. But sometimes on my close friend story, I really am relaxed, or I'm enjoying myself, and I will say maybe things I don't want my clients to say. Like, and not like I don't do big rule of thumb, close friends and regular public social media. I don't do anything that's political or religious. Like, I stay far away from that. That's also kind of like personally how I am, but I just wouldn't either way, I wouldn't post about that stuff. But as far as it comes to utilizing social media for business primarily, because even if it's a personal business account, our angle and our goal is to get business from it. So
Right,
realistically,
right.
it's the business. Maybe if you were someone who thought strongly on politics and you wanted to be vocal about that, like maybe that's what you would use close friends for. Like you could be like, I don't know, maybe you're a committee member and you like
Okay.
want to offer whatever the case may be.
Okay.
I know a lot of people that use it for what it probably was originally created for, which was, you know, your top 5 people that you talk to all the time, like that's your close friends. I use it as like another layer that's not as prim and proper as my outward business.
Okay.
So for you, it would be good for sharing, you know, family stuff. And maybe you have
Right.
100 people in your close friends. Maybe you have 300 people in your close friends. You
Okay.
can also monitor for settings. You can make lists on Facebook.
That's what I was going
And-
to ask you. Yeah. If I
So
can do that.
I haven't had anyone use it for your reason, but your reason is really good, and I think that people should. I have a lot of people, I don't do this right now, but through other MCTTs and other classes I've done with Keller Williams, I've sat through where they talk about like utilizing lists for targeting people for certain areas for homes or whatever the case may be. But you could also use that for like grouping together the people that you want to see pictures of your kids and grandchildren.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's a way you
I
can
like
organize
that.
that all comes down to systems and models, right? Like everything we talked about today is maybe time consuming in the beginning, but once you're in a rhythm or once you have things set the way it needs to be done, everything should be very fluid.
Okay. Yep. Yep. I that was good information. I appreciate that. And I'm gonna now revisit that because I just did make that jump. So I'm trying to confine it, and I'm a little not organized right now because it was a lot. You know, I was like, I'm gonna do this. You know, I like it better instead of having 4 platforms to worry about every day.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way. Like I would not be able to manage. I already have other accounts for Instagram that I'm not so much that I'm mainly in control of, but I am a part of running, and I can't imagine having 2 for just myself.
Right.
I-
Right.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. Try to sell houses.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I really try to stay on top of it because I want to stay present, and I'm working on trying to do live videos. I just haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah. Well, I will say with the videos, and I talked about this earlier in another class today. So during the pandemic first hit, I was moved back into my dad's house, was confined to a bedroom. Love him so much, he's great, but I spent a lot of time in that bedroom during the pandemic. I was on Zoom calls all the time with KW. I was doing book clubs and Zoom happy hours and whatever. And a friend of mine sent me a Gary Vee video, and he said, Gary Vee said, don't give an F about what people think, post 3 times a day, and stop caring what people have to say about it. Like, just do it. Like, stop giving a shit, just do it. So I was like, all right, fine. So I like got the tripod, did the whole thing. And because I did that, because I stopped caring about what people thought, that's why I'm standing here right now. Like not only my business, but the opportunity to teach others and coach and do the whole thing, all stemmed back from starting then. And once I stopped having that like drunk monkey of like, oh, people are from high school or wherever are gonna cringe about my videos, or, you know, like this isn't, you know, I don't do a huge amount of production to be telling people what's right or wrong or whatever it is at the time. When I stopped caring about what people thought and just cared about providing value and working on my why and growing my business, that's when everything changed for me. So when you stop caring about what people think, that's when you make all the money.
Yeah,
Like-
I like it. I like it. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you because I use a different term, but I won't say it on here of, you know, what your mind does to you and says, you know, that you have to get out of your own way.
Yeah. And those people aren't paying our bills. Like, what the heck? I got reoccurring debt
This
every
is
month.
true.
I got a mortgage to pay. Like, I can't be worried that Joe Schmo is gonna think that I look silly or my eyebrows aren't perfect today. Like, whatever. That's the team.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We really, the marketing calendar, I feel like we normally spend a lot more time on. Does anyone else have questions? I have some other stuff that we can go over, but we went through a lot of stuff. Anybody else have questions?
I have a question about Instagram.
Yeah.
So I have noticed myself, because I used to use Instagram during COVID, mostly for my lead generation.
Okay.
I've noticed that the posts are not performing as well as the stories lately.
Your Instagram posts versus your Instagram stories. Have you changed the time of when you're posting?
I don't think so.
We could try changing it.
Okay.
Like pandemic, home all day, scrolling all day.
Yeah,
A lot of people are back in the workplace,
yeah,
so they're not looking during the same time.
it's true.
I think numbers have gone down across the board on everything because we're not on our phone as much as we were. Like, I did way better on TikTok in 2020.
Same.
But everybody was on TikTok in 2020. That was like a household, get our minds on something else
Yeah.
besides being stuck in the house. So I mean, I would just try something different, but I would just also continue to be consistent because, like I said about the numbers, like it's not always about how well it's doing and also about just getting in front of the right people.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I do better on my stories too.
Mhm.
My posts don't do like, I'll get like 400 views on my stories, but then I'll get like 60 likes on like a post.
Yeah.
So it's like not comparable, but I mean, that would be my suggestion. Head out,
Yeah, I have an appointment in Shelbyville at 3.
got it. Anybody, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna probably do like a TikTok tutorial. So if anyone can't stay or doesn't want to stay or has been sitting too long, you have appointments, whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You can hop off, but I'm gonna do a TikTok thing if people want to stay. How many people do we have on there? So
19.
okay, you're staying.
I'll stop mine.
So I recorded a start to finish screen recording of me creating a TikTok. Wait, I think I might have done this for Delaware. Did we do this? Did I teach this on Zoom?
It was a different, it wasn't.
Okay,
open to-
got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Just thought about that real quick as I was pulling this up, like. I've already done this one.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Right. Share our screen here. All right. So I don't know if Zoom is good. Let me see if I could dial in. Share device audio. Okay. If anyone can't hear the audio, just let me know. So it doesn't let me talk and play the audio at the same time. So I'll stop and I'll like show you something and then I'll talk and then I'll go back. And then if anybody needs me to go back for a second or say something again, just let me know. So this is really good because it's 14 minutes start to finish. So that's actually how long it took me to record this and post it. I might take a little less than that because I'm going to speed through some things for you, but generally it took you 14 minutes to make a post, start to finish, and you get a 1 buyer from that. I think that's pretty good. Yes. So I'm going to start and show you. So for starters, I'm going to go to my notes. So what I've been doing is if I find a TikTok that I like, whether it's the idea of it or it's the sound or whatever is going on, I will copy the link to it and I put it in my notes here. So that when I'm doing my time box time to record, I can go to my notes and have all the ideas and what I thought behind it right there. I started doing this because when I got into real estate, I realized I have ADD, and if I don't write it down, I forget. So I take notes on everything. And that's why I'm a big time blocker, because I would just have my whole business run away from me if I didn't, because I would just find other things to do or I'd get stuck on other things. So I start with keeping my ideas here. So when I'm ready to record, like this day, I go through my list of things and I find what I want to record. So I'll delete these out over time, but I found this TikTok. Now, this girl is introducing herself, and I thought this would be really good for you guys to do too. If you're just starting out on TikTok, or maybe you've been doing it for a while, but you might have some new followers or people that don't know you. It was a really good way to have a reason to post, and you can include that you're a real estate agent while also giving them a little bit of like a personal feel for you. So I really like the song, which the song is Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself, like the Jay-Z song. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it or not, but this is what she did.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the.
So I really liked how she did it, where like the words pop up on the screen and it's like all stuff about herself. Now I did way less than this, but I saw this while I was during my time block scrolling, and I was like, I can do. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Juliana. I'm a licensed real estate agent. I'm in Philadelphia. Like, great post for reminding people that I'm a realtor and telling them about myself. So after I remind myself what the idea was behind it by watching it, I clicked on the, so at the bottom where it has like the little ticker and it has the black circle, that's where it says allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm going to click that because that's the sound that I want to use.
H to the.
And that brings me here. And now these are all the other people that also use the sound. So maybe I need a little bit more inspiration. So maybe I look through here and see what other people were doing, how they laid out the words, what they were doing in the video, yada, yada, yada. So I can also favorite this and the sound will be in my favorites. Or I could just click this button at the bottom that says use this sound. So this is me getting ready. It's super cringy watching myself record a TikTok, but it's for the content. So we're gonna do it. So first thing I do is
You're having a great hair day.
just curl my hair, got my ring light on, great little nice railing I got behind me. I am gonna click the timer setting. So it's the second one from the bottom handle of things. And it has the number 3 on it and it says timer. So I click that. And then I click, it's on 3 seconds or 10 seconds, and I hit start countdown. I do this so I don't have to like press it and then get into place. I can just like, or like press it and start, like I can like calmly like take a breath and like be ready to record after the 3 seconds. So do the timer.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the OV. I used.
So I'm like, okay, great, got a little sass, backed up, have room for me to put the writing on there. So that's kind of like, my idea was like the motion of like the words coming down this way. So that's why I did that.
Snowflakes by the
Okay, so I'm like, that's done. Now I'm going to see if I like it. I'm going to turn this sound off just for the purposes of us not listening to that 40 times. So I go back and watch it. It might be lagged on your end, but I promise you my lip syncing is good in this. And I'm like, okay, cool, I like it. So got on the first try, by the way, pretty cool. That's not always happen. So don't think that I'm like that good at it. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my text together. So I decided I'm going to put allow me to reintroduce myself first. So I started typing it out, and I think I kind of like messed around with the colors and like how I wanted it to look. So one by one, I'm putting it on there. That way I can individually time them to leave the screen. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit further. So I kind of was like messing with this. And then I decided I didn't like Me Too, so I went back and I made that. I combined them together. I kind of just staggered them. And so now I'm gonna click on one of the text. And it'll give you those 3 boxes. So it says tap speech, that would mean that it would like speak it, set duration, or edit. So I clicked set duration. And now it gives me this, and the red overlay is how long it's playing. So I shortened it. And you can kind of tell like what I'm lip syncing. So I wanted it to be allow me to reintroduce myself, and then after I say myself, I want them all to go away. So I start with allow, then I do Me Too, and I like shorten that to when my mouth says Me Too, and then and so on and so on. So I do that for all of them. I feel like that is like the most consuming part of it because you have to like really time it right. But once you get past that, so fix this one here, and then I watched it back to make sure I liked it. Okay, so I'm like, okay, cool, like that, lines up perfectly. Now it's on to the next text. So then I did, my name is. Also, I don't know if there's spelling errors in here, but I'm really bad at that, so don't make fun of me if there is. So I put this on there, and then again, setting the duration, making sure it lines up to where I'm at in the video. Then I want to do something a little fancy with my name. I was just trying to get creative with it here. It doesn't always have to be this like detailed. It was just what I wanted to do for the video. And then I just started thinking of like what I wanted to say, like licensed realtor. I did 23 years old. I did Pennsylvania. I have a sugar-free Red Bull addiction, so that was another part of it. So I just checked to see how that was doing and like how that was aligned, and then I just started adding like more facts about me. Also went to the Rural Farms today before I was at the Higgins group. They didn't have not one sugar-free Red Bull. The entire place was empty. So yeah, go through this, set the duration.
Sorry, it's the balloons for bold. Oh my God.
I literally thought that was a gunshot.
I know. It happened earlier during Ignite.
I just got so scared.
I know, it's a problem. It's like such a problem. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so anyway, I'm going through here and I'm setting the durations for all of them. Now I want to note this. I like to keep everything very centered and aligned because when you're using this for, say you want to share this to your Instagram story, I want it all to fit on there, and I want people to not have to like, so for instance, on your Instagram story, if you tap too close to the left or you tap too close to the right, you may go backwards or forwards. And so I like to keep everything very centered in case I do have something that's clickable so that they can click it and they don't go do something that they don't want to do or go on to the next story. Because once you lose them, you lose them. Like it's normally hard to get someone to come back to your content. So I just like to keep everything centered. It also helps it prevent from the text getting covered from the like button or the share button or other things like that. So that's why I kind of move stuff over a little bit. And I believe I showed that in here. Yeah, so when I preview this, like after I'm done with everything, I go and I preview it. You can see how very in like a overlay gray, my little profile icon, the chat, the comment button, the heart button, the share button. If I have texts that are being blocked out from that, I want to make sure that they're not in the way. Now mine were pretty good. I think I ended up moving them over just a little bit more. But here's where I would pick my thumbnail. So I forget to do this sometimes, which is very frustrating because you can't go back and edit it. But once you're in this phase of like, okay, I'm going to start writing my caption, I wanted to pick my thumbnail, make sure everything looks good. You'll hit select cover, which is the top right. And then you will drag your finger across here to find a good picture. Now, I feel like whenever I forget, I always look crazy. Because TikTok loves to just get it when my like eyes are like crossed or something crazy. So it's very important to have something good. I chose one that had all of the words on there. So that like when someone's viewing it from the thumbnail portion, they can see that it's a bunch of information. I added some sparkle here, wanted to go back and just like jazz it up a bit. Fix some things, made sure that they were lined up correctly. And then I got to the caption. So I said for the newbies, and I threw some hashtags in here. I always do hashtag realtor, hashtag real estate, hashtag Philadelphia, Philadelphia realtor, Philadelphia real estate, Philly city. I work in Bucks County as well, so sometimes I'll throw that in there if it's not like city specific content. When I'm trying to find a song or an idea or like a trending content type of thing, I'll search what the words are. So sometimes I'll do that for the hashtag too. Like if I was trying to find this sound, I would search allow me to reintroduce myself, and I probably would find it by searching the hashtag, and maybe somebody finds me that way too. So I fixed the thumbnail, got my hashtags. I think for this one, I threw in one of the trending hashtags. So if you put the hashtag button and then it'll come up right here. The one that's not gray, that doesn't have the clock on it, that and has the amount of views, that's one of the ones that are trending. So whenever you see hashtags that are trending, they will have the view count on there. You will not see the view count of a hashtag if it's not trending unless you are typing out one, and it'll tell you how many people have used it. So because this isn't really like real estate specific, and I kind of want something like this to go viral, like I want a large amount of people to get drawn into my account by seeing this, like maybe they also like sugar-free Red Bull, or maybe they live near Philadelphia, or whatever the case may be. I just threw in one of the trending hashtags that like roll the dice on that. I feel like that can either make it or break it. I feel like sometimes too many hashtags puts you in too many places and it's not specific enough, or sometimes not enough hashtags doesn't get you where you need to be. So I like to be specific on the location ones because I think that is helping you get in front of the right audience, even if your viewership isn't high. So I finished out with that. And then I just double checked everything, like make sure that everyone can see it. I allow comments, it saves to my device so I can upload it to Instagram, make sure that the setting is correct, tagged anybody that I need to tag. And then I just watched it for good luck one more time, make sure there's no spelling errors. And that's pretty much it. And I posted it. What do you think about that?
Loved it.
Questions, comments?
Who's gonna go home and make a TikTok tonight?
Hell yeah. Also, you don't have to do TikTok to be successful. Like I hate Twitter, and I know that there's agents that use Twitter and love it. I'm not going to do it because I don't like it. So don't do something because someone else says you have to. Like, oh, if you don't make TikToks, like you're not gonna, long term, like you're not gonna be in the future of how the real estate business is going. That's not true. Like do what makes you happy or you enjoy doing, or something you know you're going to be consistent with. Because if you don't like to do it, you're not going to. I don't use Twitter. I don't use Snapchat for business. Like I know someone in Delaware County that uses Snapchat for our business and she gets a lot of business from it. So like, do what works for you. But if you have an interest in doing videos or you want to try TikTok, then try it, do it. Give it a chance, and not just one chance, like spend some time on it. Give it 90 days. Then decide if you want to get rid of it. That's what Gary would say. Anything else, guys? Rebecca?
All right. I was going to ask Amanda. I did friend her or follow her on Instagram. I love what she does. And I was just wondering, were some of the things from Keller Williams Command, because I tried to work that where you could use some of their sayings and pictures and stuff, but I was having difficulty working with that because I would love to post if I have great content. And then I look back at my TikTok when TikTok was new and nobody was using. I was just looking at some pictures I had and videos I had from 2018 and 2019. We was playing with the bubbles and all those little effects that was so much fun. And I said, well, maybe that'll be a good idea to kind of repost stuff like that. It might be fun, like look back at what we were doing in 2018 with TikTok. So I was just swirling some ideas around in my head.
Yeah, I used to use Command Designs a lot. Actually have gravitated towards Canva for just other creative reasons and using it for reasons other than my business. Amanda, I don't know if like maybe if you're using Command Designs at all, or if that's in your.
I just sent it to her. I was going to send her the link. I actually use list reports, and now I do. So I keep constantly changing, and trying to come up with on like Mondays. Mondays are my this that days. So I know exactly what I'm doing. I kind of think about what I want to. What kind of items, do I want to say, would you prefer this or that? Turning in Fridays are like my funny Fridays, something funny, so, and it's not always necessarily, either one or specifically real estate, so that's what I'm trying. And then in the middle of the week, I kind of haven't, I just kind of do some of the list reports. I've been trying to do like a Wednesday might be some of the statistics that are going on in the area. So that's kind of where I am with that. And I can send you the link for list reports, but I'm not sure how I got on there.
Well, I'll appreciate whatever help because I did try to Command. It was really kind of hard for me to navigate. So
and I use Canva. I do use Canva.
Okay.
I was using
Canva.
I was using Facebook business suites. Only reason I didn't do Command because you couldn't post to Instagram. So I didn't want that issue. But my question is, and Juliana might have the answer. So when I was using the business suite, I was able to post like the list reports and they would go out to Facebook and Instagram. But now that I've changed my Facebook to just the business and basically people can follow me, I cannot get it to link with the business suite any longer because it keeps wanting me to create a specific page.
What is the business suite?
What's that?
Facebook, where you can like boost your posts and stuff.
All right, so I believe like Instagram to Facebook is business to business with linking accounts.
Yes, I think so.
So that's the main thing, because like I know my Instagram is a business Instagram, and that's linked to my business Facebook.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure as far as the business suite because I really don't. I'm like primarily Instagram, and then I push everything out that way. I don't use business Facebook as much. I'm not exactly sure on that question that you have there, but I know that it gets tricky if you have like personal accounts that you're trying to link.
Right. Yeah. And I sat up till like 1 o'clock the other night. When the night that I changed my personal Facebook, well, there's a new option on Facebook to make your personal display as a business. And so I use that. And ever since then, I was like, oh, Jesus, I cannot believe it's this difficult. And I was determined to break the system somehow to make it work, but I haven't been successful.
I've had a couple people like have issues with that, and I really don't know what the answer is. I'm hoping that maybe someone like maybe George Kelly or somebody like one of our tech trainers.
Okay.
Can, like do some stuff on that. Maybe I'll ask him if he could talk on that, if he knows.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up now.
You're good, you're good. I think that's like pretty much it. I think that's it, guys. I'm so thankful that I had so many of you on Zoom for almost 2 hours. Be thankful for you. Much love.
Thank you for all the
Yeah,
information.
we're thankful for
Yeah,
you too.
thank you.
Thank you. And
I
thanks,
give you-
Amanda. I'll be reaching out to you as well. Thank
All right,
you.
I'll be more than happy to help you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
If
Bye-bye.
anyone needs me, Mary has my contact, so
Thank you, Juliana.
yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.